So I never know for sure if we want to talk about gold or crazy swings in the markets. Maybe we talk a little bit about both. So I'm pretty relaxed on intraday market swings. I'm just not a day trader, but the last few days, well, they've been a little bit off the wall crazy. It's just really hard right now to watch the charts and get an actual idea of where things are going. And this is in all of the markets. It's part of what makes it so crazy. And the reason that I'm not just looking away and waiting it all out is that I have some profits in some of those markets that are a little bit more speculative, and then ideally I would be able to roll that profit into something more stable before the market goes south. Now, one thing that I'm going to say before I go too much further on this one is that the news outlets will pick up these swings and they will make them out to be worse than they are. An $18 swing in spot price of gold is a 1% swing. But when the range on a chart, like you'll see at Kitco, is $50, an $18 swing looks really significant. And a 650 point loss like you're going to see on CNBC for the Dow, well, that seems pretty crazy as well, but that is 1.8%. So we have things under a microscope. So everyone from CNBC to your favorite YouTube channels are going to try to exaggerate these swings to get your attention. So you'll see the same news outlet, the same YouTube channel talk about prices falling off a cliff, and then the next day they're talking about a rebound. All they're doing is just contradicting themselves for clicks. But if you really look at the wider picture, what's going on right now is that the markets are very reactive, like out of control reactive. Anytime Jay Powell or Jay Yellen release a statement, the markets flinch. Anytime we get news about the virus, it flinches. Anytime we get jobs data, inflation data, it flinches. I mentioned this in my last video saying that we had a quick look at what happens when we get news of a crisis. And the simple fact that we see such an immediate response to news right now tells you just how skittish investors are. I think that's the useful part of the story, because I don't think it's a stretch to say that the investors are nervous that something big is coming. Now, I am not here to talk about impending doom. I was looking at some other channels on YouTube that my analytics tell me viewers also watch, and what I took away from that is that talk of impending doom is pretty well covered around here. One of the channels that I didn't know about before has just a wall on their videos, just a wall of fire, and red charts, and old guys in suits with words like the collapse has begun or the world is crashing. But then you click through and it's just some norm calmly talking about the market swing that day. So what I'm hoping to do with this channel instead is just give some information on buying gold, maybe some thoughts on why I do it. I don't know if a collapse is coming, but I think it's pretty easy to be prepared with a little bit of a backup plan if it does. So getting back to those recent market swings and how gold fits into that, I think that if you're ignoring the practicality of having some kind of hedge, some kind of stable asset right now, you either know something that all of these investors don't, or you're running the risk of a significant blindside. I would never say to not invest in these other markets, but the kind of daily volatility that we're seeing right now is not normal. Again, I'm not talking about gold, because all of these swings that people are exaggerating come down to 1% one direction or the other typically. So buying a stable asset like gold is a repeatable thing. You can set it and forget it. People have been buying and storing gold throughout history, so I think that it's proven its usefulness. But talk of daily swings in gold price gives the idea that it's an investment, that you can make or lose a lot of money on it. And if you want that speculation, you can get it in the industry. You just need to hit the market and look for the right miners, the right royalty companies, the right exploration companies. But physical gold itself is pretty straightforward, and that's really why I focus on it on this channel. I'm buying it mostly as a savings model, and now and then I roll some profits from other things into it. I think of it a little bit similarly to my 401k, my IRA. My contributions to those, the 401k, the IRA, are pretty repeatable. I don't have to think about them a whole lot. I definitely don't worry about daily swings in the markets or even a possible consolidation because I'm probably 15 years out from any possible exit there, and my positions are pretty balanced to begin with. And depending on your age, I think that that's just a really smart base. I won't get into that because I'm not a financial advisor. And like I just said, it really depends on your situation. But gold is similar. I don't plan to exit. I don't plan to sell in the next decade or two unless I have some kind of need, whether that's good, whether that's bad. So I just dollar cost average in. Every month I make a purchase. And I do it in a way that doesn't prevent me from making those other investments that I've been alluding to because I dollar cost average into the market as well. That just is one example. I have fund transfers automated and then each month I make trades. Now, the other things that I'm into are way more volatile. They're getting more volatile lately, and that's why I pay attention to these charts. It feels a lot like musical chairs, and I need to be ready to pull the chute, get out at some unexpected point. And that's really the point of this video. The speculative markets that seem to be doing so well over the last 18 months are feeling really jerky right now, and I think that that makes the idea of having stable assets more important, more interesting. I don't think that you need to pull all your investments and lock it up into gold. I think that you should just be aware of what's going on, how it's just not normal. I would just say you should have a plan. Personally, my plan's pretty simple. First of all, I have enough gold that I could sell down in an emergency, like a backup plan. That would cover expenses until I got back on my feet. You can pick your own time frame. I like a year, I like 2 years. For some people, it might just be a month. Really, you have to start somewhere. And that kind of gets me to the second part, which is a monthly purchase amount. I have a plan that originally was meant to be a ½ ounce of gold a month, but lately I've been buying more than that. I think both of those plans, both of those ideas are practical, and they're probably universally useful and repeatable. I don't think anyone who's showing you those fire charts and talking about how the end is near is giving you anything that's really practical or universally useful. And anyone telling you that crypto only goes up or meme stocks only go up or how much money they've made up to now isn't giving you anything that's repeatable. Your best bet is probably just to maintain some skepticism. I'm just going to keep showing you some gold here, and anytime I do that, well, you'll know that I find this stuff useful, not just pretty. I'm not going to tell you the sky's falling, though. I don't know why or how any of us would know that in the first place, and we all spend enough time already worrying about things that will never actually happen. Here it is, though. You can build up a golden parachute for yourself without having to worry about impending doom. I know that I've enjoyed buying this stuff regardless of whether or not it's useful. I think that you'll find the same thing. Most of you probably already do. So let's shut this one down. I'm putting together questions for a Q&A to get back to some of the fun and interesting sides of gold. So hopefully we'll get away from the market swings, market cycles for a little bit. If you have anything that you'd like covered, just leave a comment and note it as a Q&A question somehow. Otherwise, just let us know what you're up to, maybe what you think of the markets lately. There's definitely a lot going on right now. But while you're there, be sure to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're into the topic of gold. And if you're still here, thank you again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.